Blast off. It's Tony Scott Internet Show. What's going on, man? Welcome to Monday. We've got this full week and then part of next week, and then it's Christmas. So one more weekend of Christmas shopping, and it's a wrap as far as the weekend shopping goes. But you know, stores, man, they stay open. One department store here in the St. Louis area is going to be open 24 hours the last 5 days leading up to Christmas. It's a bit much, don't you think? I mean, really, when you think about it, we've lost total perspective, haven't we? But hey, it's nice to get gifts. What do you want from me? What do you want from me, man? I was just saying. Well, I hope everything was good for you, the weekend and everything. A lot going on. Yesterday, we got news of a takeover at some kind of coffee shop in Australia that involved ISIS, or so we're led to believe ISIS was involved. I don't know. Some say it was someone who wanted to be an ISIS, and at the end, I think he was shot and killed. And you never want to see anybody shot and killed. I don't know if you've ever seen anybody actually shot. When I was like in my late teens, and I was dating my first wife, we weren't even married yet. Across the street was an apartment complex, and a man was just laying on the couch at his girlfriend's place. And of course, she had the ex who was nuts, and he kicked in the door and shot the dude. And of course, you know, when you're young and stupid like I was, you know, you hear gunshots, you run to see what's up. As you get older, you learn to run the other way, or at least you're supposed to. Of course, I ran to see what was going on like a lot of other people did in the neighborhood, and I saw this guy laying with holes in his body, and something that you never really get out of your mind. But to see somebody shot is horrible, so I can only speak from actually seeing. I've never been shot, so I won't even go there with that. But we begin with Cleveland Browns wide receiver Andrew Hawkins went on the field with a Justice for Tamir Rice and John Crawford shirt. And the police union is demanding an apology from Andrew Hawkins. And the Cleveland Browns say they don't understand the law enough to take a stand. So not only are you bothered by it, now you're calling them ignorant, which to me just shows how stupid Cleveland police are. You know, here's the deal with this whole thing with people who are wearing I Can't Breathe shirts and Justice for Tamir Rice and things like that. You know, everybody recognizes that the police do an incredible job under incredible pressure. It's a tough job, okay? I think we all realize that. But there are some, and for you not to realize that there are some police officers who are, for lack of a better word, rogue, who go against everything about protect and serve, right? Unless you're willing to admit there are some cops who are bad, and it's a very small minority, then we're never going to be able to move forward. You know, I've been debating with this person on YouTube about what their reality is versus, you know, and I told this person, you know, your reality, he's saying that he has 2 black friends, okay, flag goes up there, but he says that they were, for some circumstance where the 3 of them were escorted home or escorted by the police. And my point was, if you wouldn't have been there, those 2 other black kids wouldn't have been escorted anywhere. I mean, it wouldn't have happened. And unless you're willing to realize that your reality with the police, and I've said this time and time again on podcasts, your reality, your interaction with the police has been positive. But that's not everybody's reality, especially when it involves people of color, right? And Jeff Follman, who's president of the Patrolman Union in Cleveland, says it's pretty pathetic when athletes think they know the law. Well, Jeff Follman, it's pretty pathetic when you assume that people don't know the law. You know, you can hide behind no grand jury indictment for Darren Wilson, who murdered Michael Brown, and no grand jury indictment for the police officer in New York City who choked the life out of Eric Garner. Okay? And possibly no indictment, I don't know, but it's been ruled a homicide, Tamir Rice's death. All these things that happened. You mean to tell me in each and every circumstance, that the police acted accordingly each and every time? Who the hell do you think you're talking to? You can't possibly believe that folks are not going to question that. All right? Explain to me Tamir Rice. Explain to me why Tamir Rice needed to be shot 2 seconds, literally 2 seconds after police pulled up in the patrol car. Explain to me why that police officer who murdered Tamir Rice, who was only 12 years old, how he was even allowed to be a police officer in Cleveland when it was clear that you guys didn't vet him. Because if you had vetted him, you'd have known from his previous police gig that he had that they had said this dude not only doesn't need to be a cop, he probably shouldn't even be holding a gun ever for whatever reason. He's not that stable. So for the Cleveland Police Union to demand an apology is an insult. Not only that, but there is freedom of speech. And he can say what he wants without fear of repercussion from the state being Cleveland police. So if Andrew Hawkins ain't going to say it, I'll say it for him. Man, kiss my ass. And that's the truth, Ruth. Bill Cosby says that black media should remain neutral on his sexual assault allegations. He's finally spoken out. I only expect the black media to uphold the standards of excellence in journalism, and when you do that, you have to go in with a neutral mind, is what he told Page 6 of the New York Post in a phone interview late last week. It's interesting, though, okay, he's saying the black media needs to remain neutral, and he actually, in another article, it was said that he actually said that black media is being neutral, but black social media, really not so much, right? I mean, it's really been a rough go on him as far as social media goes. They've been calling him everything. Everything. Spelman College in Atlanta, which has had, they've done business with Bill Cosby for decades now. Now they're trying to, kind of say, oh, you stand over there. Because they have suspended the William and Camille Olivia Hanks Cosby Endowed Professorship indefinitely. The endowment was created in 1988 when Bill and Camille Cosby gave Spelman College $20 million. The statement from spokesperson Audrey Arthur says the William and Camille Olivia Hanks Cosby Endowed Professorship was established to bring positive attention and accomplished visiting scholars to Spelman College in order to enhance our intellectual, cultural, and creative life. The current context prevents us from continuing to meet these objectives fully. Consequently, we will suspend the program until such time that the original goals can again be met. Is that fair? I don't know. I don't know. He hasn't been tried. Is he officially under investigation for any of these things? I mean, is it even worth investigating because of the statute of limitations, right? There's a statute of limitations, both criminally and civilly, I was told, too. They can't even sue for civil damages because too much time has gone by. So I'm not sure what the deal is on that. How about Sony? Sony Pictures, man, they got hacked, and a lot of their emails have been made public. Amy Pascal, who is running Sony Entertainment, is under the gun for, one, insulting President Obama, and for other insensitive emails that she's being called on. And we're finding out about a lot of secrets, too. Matthew Knowles apparently pitched an idea for a Destiny's Child movie to Sony just last year. He approached Clint Culpepper from Sony's Screen Gems division with the idea of a biopic of the group, which would cover their early beginnings as Girls' Time. The lineup changes, the solo side projects, they're split back in 2006. Culpepper apparently told Sony executives last year that Matthew Knowles is going to go to Universal next. Do we think it would be a successful film? They're on the Sony label. I'm just not sure that it's not too soon. Nothing's come from it. But that's some of the emails that have been hacked and made public. Oprah Winfrey spoke to CNN's Don Lemon on the red carpet of the Selma movie and asked her what she thought about the Sony executives and their racist exchange that was leaked to the hacking scandal. Oprah told Don Lemon that she wishes people wouldn't rush to judgment as far as private conversations, because if we were to look at your computer and everybody else's computer, I try to write everything as if it would end up in the New York Times. But there are things that you say in your private conversations with your friends, with your colleagues, that you would not want to be broadcast on CNN, is what she told Don Lemon. But you know what? Who doesn't know that you don't use company email. You know, really the only email you own, and I don't even know if we're going to get real technical about it, if you actually ever really own your email. I mean, you don't own your yahoo.com email address. You don't own your whatever.com email address. I guess the only way you would, because I mean, Yahoo, did you read the terms and conditions when you sign up for email with these different companies, Yahoo or Apple or Microsoft with their Outlook and stuff like that? Do you read the terms and conditions? It's not really yours, is it? I guess the only way it would be yours is if you had your own server and your own computer, infrastructure. But then again, you got to get your access from somebody. So there again, you might be defeated as far as you owning your email. I mean, I might be speaking incorrectly, but it seems to me no one ever really owns their own email. But you like to think that when you're president of the company, that you're not going to get hacked. What's the lesson here? You got hacked. You got hacked, man. I've been reading this article about Sean Hannity from Fox. Apparently, he wants the world to know that Jay-Z is a former crack dealer. That's what he wants the world to know this, And it's like, apparently, he just found this out. He just found this out. Is that the deal? Is this why this is a news story? Sean Hannity said, I want to talk about Jay-Z, who is now the advisor of Andrew Cuomo. Why would the governor pick him? Why can't we can't do better than a former crack dealer? But what about redemption? What about redemption? How about that? How about people who break the law, whatever law it is, and they've redeemed themselves? Whether they got caught or not, they changed their ways. Do you think Jay-Z is still selling crack? Do you think Jay-Z's been selling crack the last 20 years or so? I don't think so. I don't think he needs to. So Sean Hannity, what, people can't change or black people can't change? Is that what it is? And of course, let's not forget that Sean Hannity is, not above spinning what actually is truth. Because I don't think even Jay-Z would count himself as one of Governor Cuomo's advisors. He might have met with the governor about a social issue, and I believe he did. But I don't think he'd be counted on as an advisor to the governor. So there again, Hannity spinning the truth to something false to create controversy. That's what Sean Hannity does. That's what he does. I mean, come on, man. Let's be honest. That's just what he does. He basically is a drama queen when you think about it. I saw this story. The co-founder of Miss Jessie's Beauty Products and Miss Jessie's hair care products have been in stores for quite a while now. But one of the co-founders, and if I get her name wrong, I think she went by TT Branch. It was T-I-T-I-T-T. But apparently she passed away a couple weeks ago. Some say that she took her own life. No one knows for sure. But they ran her and her sister, Miko, they ran a popular salon in New York City. And a holiday party was coming up that was abruptly canceled that they have every year with no reason. But apparently Miko, her sister, and the official Miss Jessie's Twitter account paid tribute to Miss Branch. This is according to Black Enterprise. Miss Jessie's salon has been in New York where they sold their own products. And I think some of the product you can get like at Walmart, stuff like that, and Target, stuff like places like that. So I don't know the circumstances. I saw a picture of her, beautiful, just a beautiful woman. And if she took her own life, when someone takes their life, I mean, you can hope that they rest in peace. But I had a friend of mine who did that, and maybe I shouldn't say this, but I had a friend of mine who took their own life. And I remember going to their funeral and stuff and seeing them in the casket. And they just didn't look peaceful. They didn't look peaceful. And maybe that was just my interpretation because I knew the circumstances. But I hope that TT Branch finds peace with this, because you don't know someone's situation. And if you don't know someone's situation, it's really hard to really say any more than that, really, to be fair, According to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, the word of the year for 2014 is culture. Culture is the word of the year. I don't need to tell you what it means. If you don't know what it means, then shame on you. But culture can mean different things, obviously. There's the culture of an ethnicity. There's the culture as far as science goes. There's all kinds of ways. But you know what? Look it up yourself. You ain't stupid. Come on, man. What about this kid in North Carolina, Bladenboro, North Carolina, that police are saying he killed himself by hanging? He hanged himself. Claudia Lacey says she can accept anything, even that her youngest son killed himself, if it's proven and explained to her. But she says that investigators they haven't explained a damn thing to her. That he hanged himself, Lennon Lacey, one summer night. She just will explain how that happened, because I don't see that. The FBI is saying, well, you know what? Let's look into this. Let's look into this. She says he was lynched. When's the last time somebody was lynched? But we live in a country where, extreme right conservatives, and not even fair to say that, but we know that racism, that's the funny thing, was it last week? I think I mentioned this on a podcast where they said that, CBS did a survey, a poll, saying that racism under President Obama is at its worst. No, it's not. First of all, you and like I said this last week, you took a poll about racism in this country when the temperature right now is very hot, given what's happened to young black men. We're running a very high temperature as far as race goes in this country right now. Second of all, folks who pay attention to these kinds of things know racism has always been there. It's just that people are so outraged, racists are so outraged that the president of the United States, the leader of the free world, the most powerful man in the world is an African American, and that just their racism has just boiled over to the point where they really don't give a damn who knows what their race is. Now, where before, they would say amongst their friends, racist things, but now they don't care who hears it now because they're just pissed off beyond all pistivity. That's what it is. I mean, come on. Racism is always, what do you thought it was? And whoever thought racism was going to go away because we elected our first black president is beyond stupid. I'm just going to call it like it is. You're dumb. because that didn't change a damn thing. Didn't change anything at all. Not one thing. Man. It's an article that I saw on CNN on their website about the parents who canceled Christmas, John and Lisa Henderson from Utah. They finally had enough. They've been trying to teach their three boys, who were 11, 8, and 5, to stop being disrespectful, stop acting entitled. And they actually warned these kids that they needed to change or there was going to be consequences. I can respect anybody who tells their kid. I tell my kids that all the time. You don't change it up, man. Something's going to happen. You ain't going to like it, but it's going to happen. Mom says, we gave them good warning. Either it was time for their behavior to change or there were going to be consequences. We worked with them for several months and hardly anything changed. And my husband, John, says, you know what? Let's just cancel Christmas. So Santa's not coming to their house. What do you think? Too much? Some people will say, well, Christmas has gotten so out of hand, being materialistic and everything now that maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. I cannot remember not looking forward to Christmas when I was a kid. And as an adult, I look forward to Christmas, not for me, but for my children. Even now, I mean, my youngest is 15 years old and I'm excited for Christmas for her, for what we're going to give her. Do we go overboard? Yeah, we do. But I mean, to say I love my kids would be such an understatement. And I just love to see them happy. Love to see them happy. I love to see them smile. When they tell me they've had a good day, it just makes me so happy. And I ask my kids every day, how was your day? My daughter my two youngest daughters, my oldest daughter probably ain't got time for me because she's got two boys of her own. I get that. That's cool. But I always ask her how life's going when I talk to her. How things going? You got time? You taking time for yourself? I ask about the boys. I ask about her guy and everything. And, I ask all these things. But, I've always asked my kids, how was your day? It's so much so that they actually ask me how my day was. It's become routine for us. And we sit and talk about it. And that's great. But canceling Christmas, man, I respect it. There are not many parents that I'm going to criticize, because, everybody parents in their own way. Sometimes we go over the line, which brings me to this. Adrian Peterson apparently is going to file a lawsuit challenging his suspension for the rest of the year. For the whole thing about him putting a switch to his son and all that, which some people say was child abuse, and some people say that's how I got disciplined, which is kind of silly, because just because you got disciplined that way doesn't mean it wasn't illegal. Okay? Doesn't mean that at all. I know people who smoke weed with their parents. It's not legal, but you did it, so you don't see nothing wrong with it, which is the stupidest thing I ever heard. But there was a story last week about this woman, her 10-year-old son. Apparently he peed on himself, and the guy she's living with, not her boyfriend, they try to make it clear that it's her roommate. He suggested that they dress him up, the boy, in girls' clothes, take his picture and put it on Facebook and social media, and that's what they did. So police found out they were charged with mental cruelty to a child, things like that. It turns out the guy, she didn't want to upset her living conditions because the guy she's living with is also her landlord. But then there goes the question, because some people say you don't get involved in how people discipline their kids. What about this situation? Do you do that with them? Is this a situation where we should step in? Where the boy was clearly humiliated and this may cause problems down the road for him? I've never saw fit to discipline any of my children, even my grandsons, for peeing on themselves or peeing in the bed. I don't see that. Because to me, when a kid does that, he's already humiliated. He didn't, with very few exceptions. There's some kids who do it on purpose, and when the kids do it on purpose, there's something else wrong. That actually does not require you to be angry. It requires help. But in a normal situation, a normal kid pees in the bed by accident or pees on himself. They didn't mean to do it. They're already humiliated. So why would you take it a step further and take their picture dressed as a girl, if it's a boy, and then put it on social media? Why would you do that? And what's the connotation? That only girls pee on themselves? Is that what that means? That's stupid. That's stupid. In my opinion, yeah, these parents need to be charged. Is it heavy-handed? I mean, they didn't mean anything? What do you mean they didn't mean anything? You humiliated your child who was probably already humiliated. It's called saving our children is what that is. We need to do that. Man, come on. McDonald's said last week that they're cutting items from their huge menu because they're trying to speed up service. Apparently having a lot of stuff on the menu slows them down because they got to stop and do things that, and they don't even serve breakfast all day. But they do have a hell of a menu. I will say that. Now, they're not saying which items are going to be cut, but they're performing tests of simplified menus in markets across the country. Not every market, but certain markets. In some markets, they're offering 1 quarter pounder with cheese. Apparently, they have 4 of them on the regular menu. I didn't even know that. I don't remember the last time I ate at McDonald's. Not because I don't like McDonald's. It's just, the older you get, the more conscious you got to be of what you're putting in your body. I'm not saying that I eat healthy by any means, but, we kind of, and that's a lot of fast food restaurants we stay away from as a family just because we just want to eat better, But apparently they had 4 quarter pounders on their regular menu. Now they're going to, apparently in the markets where they're testing, they got it down to 1. 1 premium chicken sandwich instead of 3. 1 snack wrap instead of 3. And they're planning on cutting some items from the extra value meals too. And this is all going to begin next month. I didn't know they've been getting criticized for adding too many items to their menu. I didn't know. I mean, people want variety, right? People want they could lose that McRib. I give them that. that don't even look like meat. Have you ever washed the barbecue sauce? You know why they're drowned? It's drowned in barbecue. Have you ever looked at it without the barbecue sauce? Looks like some kind of mold. Not mold like moldy mold, but like a mold like you're gonna pour something and make something shaped a certain way. That's what it looks like. It came out of a mold, like an ice cube thing. I don't know. But they say in the 7 years, the menu grew like 42%. In 2007, they had 85 items, and 7 years later, they had 121 items on their menu. 121 items on a fast food menu. That's crazy. They're trying to speed up service. Their average drive-through wait is 3 minutes, 9.5 seconds, which apparently is very long. The longest it's been in 15 years. It amazes me that they keep track of that, but I'm not in that business, so I don't know. My business is radio. And do I have a problem with long commercial breaks? Yeah, I do. So I guess that's my business. So I guess, sitting in your car in the drive-thru for 3 minutes and 10 seconds is apparently really, really, really long. And that apparently is a problem. So there you go, right? All right, what else is going on? Friday, I mentioned this last week that I had an event coming up, and I wanted to get all the details together before I actually told you about it. And here I am telling you about it, and here we go. You can Toys for Ferguson is an event I'm doing. It's going to be at Knockouts this coming Friday at 11208 West Florissant. That's in the Clock Tower Plaza if you're in the St. Louis area. It'll be from 5 to 9. You bring a toy, you get in. If you don't have a toy, it costs you like $5 to get in. Julius Williams, singer's going to be there. And don't bring any toy guns, okay? Because we're going to throw those away and we're going to charge you $5, okay? But I hope to see you this Friday, right? Grown folks. This is a grown folks event. The kids don't show up in clubs until like after midnight. Rappers have these concerts in clubs. They don't even start till like 2 a.m. No, this starts at 5. It'll go to 9. So you come by, let's say hi, let's take some Christmas selfies. Let's do that, reconnect. And ever since my return on the radio, on Old School and today's R&B 95.5, you guys have been amazing to me. It's like, man, it's crazy how nice you've been to me. And I love you all and appreciate it so much. This is my way of giving back, inviting you to my happy hour this Friday that I'm doing with 13 Black Cats. So if you get a chance to come on by, please. Other sponsors, Urban League of Metro St. Louis, Regal Sports, Logo Graphics. But thanks to Stephen Gray and 13 Black Cats for believing in me to do this event. It's much appreciated. And I hope to see you at Knockouts Bar and Grill on West Florissant this coming Friday evening. All right? I'll leave it right there. Thanks so much for listening. Covered a lot of ground today. Happy to do it. Appreciate you listening and sharing and downloading and all that kind of stuff like that. I'm going to be moving like some of my podcasts around to different platforms and stuff, but I'll keep you up to date. But you'll always be able to get it on YouTube. Even the audio you can get on YouTube, so it'll always be there. But we're going to be starting up on Stitcher. All right, I think we're going to be starting up again with Podbean. Okay, we're on Spreaker. We have an iHeartRadio channel. I don't think that's going to change. So, but I'll keep you up to date on all that stuff. But thanks so much, though, for listening. God bless you all. Merry Christmas. I love you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.